Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now it's like 6 in the morning. I woke up at 5 and watched Wandavision episode 1 and 2 on Disney+. The first episode was 29 minutes long and the second episode runs for 36. To be honest, I really enjoyed it and it feels like we haven't had anything Marvel in a long time. So I was super excited to see those Marvel credits roll at the beginning and I had goosebumps. But anyways, let's go ahead and review the first 2 episodes. Now before we get started, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I will be making Easter egg videos on the show and also an actual spoiler review down the road as well. But for this video specifically, we are not going to be talking spoilers. So if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes yet, nothing is going to be spoiled in this review. So let's start talking about WandaVision. So right off the bat, this is not the average MCU project. There's not tons of fight scenes and all these great spectacles and explosions and everything. It really tones it down a lot. It actually starts out black and white in a 1950s sitcom. A lot of people are relating this to an old show called I Love Lucy. The show is essentially a comedy and it's done in front of a live studio audience, so you hear them laughing whenever they make a joke, which is way different than anything we've seen in the MCU. And to be honest, I liked it, you know, something unique, something fresh. So Wanda and Vision are just living a normal life. Vision has a job, Wanda is a housewife, so they are living in a little neighborhood in Westview. They are the new couple in town and they have to like get established and get to meet their neighbors. Something cool about this show is they actually know they have powers. I didn't know if right from the start they were going to know that or if it was just going to kind of develop and have them realize that they have powers, but it looks like they do right off the bat. They all know, they know their name, they know they have the powers, but they tried to keep it a secret. This isn't a spoiler by any means, but in the trailers you can see Paul Bettany, who is Vision, as a regular human being, and that's to hide the fact that he's actually a machine. And same goes for Wanda. She doesn't really like to use her powers in front of people. She keeps that a secret as well. And since this is a comedy, there's a lot of robot jokes directed to Vision, which were actually pretty funny. Now let's talk about the story. So we don't really know too much just because it's only the first 2 episodes and they want this to kind of play along like a mystery, so we get to kind of like unveil the story as we go. But as of right now, after 2 episodes, they don't know how they got there. They don't know when they got married. They don't know when their anniversary is. But throughout the first couple of episodes, you get a couple clues and Easter eggs that kind of let you know that not everything is as it seems. And I really like the whole aspect of them thinking, you know, they're just married, living a normal life, but then there's like something going on in the background and they've got to kind of like figure it out as the episodes go. I feel like this is going to be a great story that unfolds throughout the 9 episodes of WandaVision. Now let's talk about the main characters. So we've got Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch and then Paul Bettany as Vision. To be honest, I've always liked their kind of dynamic, but in WandaVision they get to really expand on that chemistry that not only the characters have but also the actors themselves, and I just love watching them on screen together. They play really well off of each other and a lot of the comedy that they have towards each other is really good. Now Paul Bettany is way funnier than I thought. I always thought of him as like robotic like Vision, but in this show I think he shows a little more like humanity and he actually is like a funny guy. I watched a lot of the interviews as well for the show and Paul Bettany is like an actual charismatic dude. I always thought of him as just like straight up robotic, but I was wrong. Especially with those robot jokes that I was mentioning earlier, he does really well with those. Now we haven't really explored that much with the characters so far, just in the first 2 episodes. So essentially what we're doing is watching them try to live like a normal life through the eyes of a comedy. And it's really interesting because the only time we've ever seen these characters are when they're full on using their powers fighting against villains, and not just simply being together, making a meal, doing errands, and just having a normal conversation with each other. I think it was a really cool thing to be able to watch. Now what's happening in this show? A lot of people really want to know, you know, through their trailers you don't really get an answer, and in the first 2 episodes you don't really get an answer as well. It's essentially Wanda altering this reality with her powers, and according to Kevin Feige, she's one of the most powerful characters in the MCU, and you kind of get to see her expand her abilities a little bit in this show. But this show was based off of the House of M comics, so we might see a sort of adaptation of that. And there's a lot of talk of Mephisto being the main villain in this show as well. And personally, I do think it is going to be Mephisto, so I think throughout the episodes we're going to kind of hint towards him. But that is going to be a different video. I'm going to make Easter egg and theory videos as a separate thing, so make sure you subscribe to see that. But as of right now, for what's happening, we don't really know. The first episode was kind of just like like living everyday normal life. And the second episode had to do with a talent show in Westview. So pretty basic things, not really anything that kind of unveils the story by any means. So what are my thoughts on the show? Now, I think this show is a great start for the Marvel Studios TV division. I think it works really, really well because we've already had a lot of backstory on the characters. I think if they just like made the show and had never had Wanda and Vision in anything before, I don't think it would work as good. Another thought that I have about the show is that different is good. They could have easily just made this into like another action spectacle, but they really chose to tone it down and make it more of a narrative. And I'm a big fan of that because it helps us get a deeper understanding of the characters. And to be honest, I like a deeper, more meaningful story too. So I think this is going to be a nice change for Marvel. And I think with their Disney Plus shows, they're going to just get deeper into the characters, especially because you have more time with them. Instead of cramming a bunch of stuff into a 2 or 2.5 hour movie, you can expand that a lot with a TV show. And that's why I'm personally a bigger fan of TV shows over movies, because you just get way more time with the characters. The show is super mysterious. You don't really know what's going on, which is a good thing because it makes you want to watch more and it keeps you really intrigued with the show. Because if they just revealed a whole bunch of stuff in the first like 2 episodes, you wouldn't really care about the rest. So I like how they're slowly hinting at what's going on. All of the supporting characters were really good as well, and I really like the cast for the show, and I'm excited to see where it goes. From what I've heard, the 3rd episode goes into the 70s, which should be a pretty interesting episode, and that is supposed to come out next Friday. But as of right now, I'm going to rate WandaVision a 5 out of 5. Everything about it so far is really, really good. There's really no complaints with the show so far. It's just nice to see some MCU stuff because we haven't seen anything since like Spider-Man Far From Home, which feels like it came out like 3 years ago. But so far, the show has been funny, mysterious, and really toned down, like I said, which I do enjoy. And I'm excited to see what happens in episode 3 and all of the other episodes when those come out. I just wish they all released at the same time so I could just binge the whole thing, because now for the next week I'm going to be thinking and theorizing of what's actually going on behind the scenes. But anyways, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Like I said, guys, I will be making Easter egg videos based off of episode 1 and 2 and all of the other episodes and other Marvel shows and movies down the line, so make sure you subscribe to see that. But other than that, if you guys watched the show, make sure you leave a comment down below of what you guys thought. Thanks for watching once again, and I hope you guys all have a great day. Have fun watching the show. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next episode.